Comparing Deadpool and Wolverine to Borderlands would be an insult to Borderlands. Not really, because they managed to encapsulate both scenes in two different movies. Two middle-aged white actors that have managed to convince audience and the world that they're not too old to be playing the same characters, and cameos from people we definitely still care about. Not too much on cameos because I love Blade, Johnny, and Elektra, and also just boring jokes that hit nowhere. I mean, what could be worse? I just finished watching Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was definitely something. From underwhelming villains to jokes that you can tell only Ryan Reynolds and his annoying wife wrote together and found funny. With all the hype and the dudes raving about how this is the best thing they've ever watched and making sure this underwhelming fest grossed $1 billion in box office, that's how you know it's good. Underwhelming villains. Marvel has outdone themselves again. With a boring villain, I feel like I'm watching X-Men Dark Phoenix. Really, who was the villain again? My childhood is X-Men, and it's just sad to see that Marvel doesn't care about its audience and everything is just a cash grab. They know people love cameos, so they give us cameos, but deep down, they know the franchise is tired. I had an X-Men marathon not so long ago, and yes, I skipped Dark Phoenix. I also loved Deadpool 2. It just gave me so much joy, but Deadpool 3 is definitely not needed. It had a really good soundtrack, but other than that, jokes are tired. But let's talk on the whelming villain and save the boring jokes and unnecessary fight scenes to inserts time sap. Do you all truly remember who the villain was? Again, seriously, what was even the driving force? And yes, a villain can be a villain without any driving force, but one would be nice. Not necessary though, but would be nice. AKA the high evolutionary Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, that's how you villain. I think even the black version of Ronan the Accuser had more depth than whatever this rubbish was. First, there was Paradox, and what was even his driving force for wanting to destroy Wade's world? Again, it would have been destroyed in a couple years, so what truly was the point? Even Wade trying to save his friends, which I think was cute, and family. What's even the point? In a couple of years, all the people he's known to love will die and he'd still be alive. And no, I'm not trying to sound like Omni-Man, but that's the honest truth. And after Paradox, we have, what's her name again? Vanessa, the bald version of Charles. I'm gonna assume Charles is also Professor X. The timeline is a bitch. What is Vanessa's force again? She just want to destroy the world because it's cute and girly. Because what the hell was she even doing? 1 minute she want to stay in the void, and the next minute she want to go full Thanos. This girl was just bad for no reason. And usually I would have loved her, but I hate bald people, so she doesn't get a pass. The entire thing she was doing, spoiler, was just so Wade and Logan can do their big one. But I feel like it would have been more iconic if there was an actual carrying stake, but it's nothing. Yeah, 1005 Logan just didn't hit for me. His arc was just a little too overdone, but people ignore the bad writing because there's Chris Evans and the girlie's panties are wet from him. Aww. Ew, dude! And there's also Blade and a bunch of other cameos. I've noticed Marvel fans, me included, love a good cameo. We appreciate it by giving them our money. The cameos and soundtrack just could not save this train wreck for me. Overrated fight scenes. Truly, I think if you watch this in theaters, you would never see the crack in the plot. But just take your time. You see how underwhelming the fight scenes were. I know the silly teenage boys think it's cool because it's gory and it's not given PG-13, so they think this is the most iconic shit they've ever watched. And to that I say, rewatch it, my bestie, because I know you're not that stupid. The fight scenes are terrible, and the CGI looks like a failing VFX team in Canada made it. Other than that, they were just fighting to give teen boys the theater orgasm, which Marvel hasn't given them in a long time. Only Dune has been supplying them that craving, but I think silly teens think gory fights and Wade acknowledging this true fourth wall breaking is what we want, so they make it easy and more digestible, which means that they know that this didn't have a plot, but they kept on writing it and making it. But they know comic book fans would love to watch Deadpool and Wolverine fight, so they made it happen, not because it added anything to the 2 hour too long plot, but because they wanted to make fans feel something again. Before I end this part, let's talk about Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is 40 years too old to be playing that character. I think the guy who played Sam in Gen V would have done a better job. And truly, the accent is throwing me off because I'm hearing a Jamaican accent, but I'm not seeing a black person. And no, not because this Duke can dance me singing cosplay Jamaicans. He ain't even doing them justice. He just made them sound silly.
I've been waiting for this. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah.
But what am I? If I call it out, I'm too woke for the zesties. But I think they saw the success of The Boys and realized people love gory superheroes. But I feel like they could have put more thought in the villains and stopped the unnecessary fight. I think it was so much fun watching them fight Vanessa than watching them kill 100 Deadpools, which also added nothing to the plot. It just wasted our time. Ignore the way this movie made you feel and rewatch to see that there's no actual plot. Marvel is truly lost the plot. Anyways, boring and tired old jokes. Maybe I don't get American humor, but every joke about Disney buying Marvel or Fox felt like I was watching a TikTok joke. And whatever I'm breaking for what bullshit Ryan Reynolds conjured up to seem more relatable reeked of middle-age crisis joke. Which is what the point was. I get it, guys. This is Deadpool living his middle-age crisis fantasy. How original. I know that Deadpool's whole schmiddle is breaking for while acting zesty and many other very useful talent he obviously has, but this one just felt overdone. I don't think there was any joke at some point in this movie that made me visibly giggle.
Boring!
Except Gumball's accent, which I just thought was cringe. Other than that, I love when movies don't take themselves too seriously, which is what Guardians of the Galaxy was known for. But when it came to 3, they knew when to be serious and when to be goofy. And even when Deadpool and Wolverine were serious, I just could not connect because I still don't understand what this third movie. I could not relate to that Logan. I feel like if they had given him like a remembrance episode or something, which I thought they were gonna do because Deadpool called it out, but they didn't do that. Please find new comedians to write new jokes. These ones are tired and boring, and the whole kiss and dog culture is just disgusting and vibe. Please stop. Anyways, bye, and watch me rant about how much The Boys season 4 was just a hot mess, and don't forget to subscribe because I'm that bitch.